Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez on every Sunday at 12. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, done. Okay, so questions. Answers, that's what I'm going to do because I didn't get to all of them last week. And I just wanted to let you guys know I am probably not going to do a show this Sunday. I'm going to take the day off just because it's been such a week. And I want to thank all of you for all of your well wishes as far as, Rip Baba. Thank you so much. It's been hard. He was my dog for 15 years, and it's really sad to let him go. So, it's a thing. So anyway, I think I'm going to take this Sunday off. So if there is not a show, that is why. I just need a break. I've been doing this straight through for, God, at least a year now without taking any Sundays off. So there may or may not be a show. I'm guessing probably not. So if I can, I will. If I can't, I won't. So don't count on it. So anyway. All right. So let me get all the stuff out of the way. So April 21st, yes. April 21st, I will be doing book signings at Postman Books in Atlanta. I will also be doing a book signing at Tall Tale Books in Atlanta. And then on the 22nd, I will be doing a live lecture at the Smyrna, Georgia Community Center. So we are doing a VIP thing, and then we'll be doing a lecture. So if you want to get tickets to that, you can go to Eventbrite, Atlanta. Chris Godinez, look that up, and it should pop up all of the stuff. So there is that. So I will be signing my new book, You Can Lead a Horse Water, but you can't make him cha-cha, at the book signings. I will also be doing some book signings at the lecture as well. Like I said, there's a VIP thing, so if you wanted to come meet with me in a little bit more personal setting, I think it's going to be a maximum of 10 people. And we'll have some coffee, and we'll have some croissants or donuts, or I don't know what the heck they're getting. But anyway, we'll do that, and we'll talk, and I can answer some more questions and have a little bit more of a personal chat with you guys. So there that is. Okay. And don't forget to share the videos because, my whole thing is we need to educate people. It is amazing to me how many therapists do not know jack diddly squat about, abuse and abuse survivors, and they just don't get the information that they need. So, all right. Okay. I want to try to do a meetup while you are here in Atlanta. Which one do you think would be best for that? Probably the book signings, one of the book signings. I don't know how many people are going to show up. That's always that's always kind of a question mark as to how many people are going to show up. Although this last book signing, the first book signing I did, I was actually really pleasantly surprised how many people bought books. I was like, wow, that's awesome. So yeah, probably one of the book signings would be a good chance to kind of get together and say hi and chat for a little bit. Or, if you want to come to the lecture, you can do that too. Okay. Yes, I do need to take time for myself and recoup. And I think that's what I'm going to do this weekend. If I'm up to it, I'll do a show. If I'm not, then I'm just going to be like, give it a miss. So just letting you know in advance. All right. So questions that we had from last week that did not get answered. Okay. So one of the first questions was, are there any books for teens on dating or dating boundaries? I don't know of any because teens are not my thing. So it's like I'm mostly adults is what I work with. I will work with teenagers if teenagers are the children of narcissists and the parent that's getting away from the abuser has got the kids and they're bringing them in to meet for therapy. So I'm happy to do that. I do not know of any good books. So what I would do is I would get onto Amazon and I would just look up, dating books for teenagers. I really don't know that there's a lot of books specifically geared to, here's what to look out for. It's like the dating books that I've seen, it's been like, manners and what to do, what not to do, that kind of thing, as opposed to, hey, you want to be nervous if somebody starts asking all your family and friends about all your personal issues and then somehow shows up with their personal issues being the same as your personal issues, and or they start, mining you for information. It's very hard to find books like that. So yeah, I think try one of the boundary books. Look on boundaries for teenagers, boundaries for teenage dating, that type of thing. I think that would be a really good place to start. And yeah, I think it's a great idea to start teaching your teens. We do not talk to teenagers enough about anything, basically. It's amazing to me the way we treat teenagers. But we really need to talk to them about dating, and we need to talk to them about what is appropriate in a relationship and what is inappropriate in a relationship. So I think that's really a good thing to start talking to them about when they turn preteen, like 11, 12, 13, around in there. That's the time to go, okay, someday you're going to start dating, and here's what you need to watch out for, and here's what you need to be aware of, and you are worthy of being treated well, and no man or woman is worth your self-worth or your self-esteem or your sense of who you are, So yeah, I think it's a great idea to start talking to teens now about dating and what to watch out for and what to look for and all that sort of good stuff. So hi guys. Okay, that was one question. Do abusers use their children as bait? Is the Pope Catholic? Yes, they freaking-lutely use their kids as bait. And what they will do is they will find a very nurturing male or female, whoever, and then go, oh, look, I have a small one. And then they use that kid as bait to suck that person into wanting to care for this poor little kid who's got, a jerk for a parent. And yeah, they will absolutely use the kid as bait and then suck that person into the disease to please, needing to take care of, needing to caregive, needing to parent, needing to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, they will absolutely suck those kids in. Okay, question. Can a person with dissociative identity disorder have alters that are narcissistic? My ex seemed to have on with it. Not usually. And here's the reason why. Most of the dissociative identity disordered people I have worked with, their alters were always there to help them in some way, shape, or form. So they were never cruel, mean, nasty, awful, horrible, terrible people. They may be more assertive. They may be more, I'm not going to let you hurt me kind of thing. But they were never narcissistic. So I'm calling bullshit on that one. They could. I don't know. Ryan's saying yes. But in my experience, no, I have not seen that. The alters I have seen have all been aspects of that person that are trying to protect the original personality. So I have not seen a narcissistic one. So Ryan, if you've got a different experience, please expound, go for it. Yeah, so her alters were nasty. So, it just depends on the person, I'm guessing. So, and caveat, warning, I have seen abusers use the excuse of dissociative identity disorder as an excuse to be abusive. So be aware of that. So, because remember guys, abusers are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, I think is the best way I can put it. So they will pretend to be the abused. They will claim that they are the one that is being harmed. They will claim experiences that they have done to you as their own, that you have done to them. So it's not a stretch of imagination to think that they could use dissociative identity disorder as an excuse to go ahead and abuse. So that's a hard one to tease out. You need a really good therapist to figure out if this is truth or if this is bullshit. And a good therapist can tell the difference. They really can. So anyway, yeah, trust your gut, Dale. If that's what your gut is telling you, you're probably right on. So, and again, I agree with Ryan. It depends on the person, but I have yet to see somebody who whose alters were cruel, mean, nasty, vicious. What I've seen is alters that were really good boundaries. Like, no, you're not going to cross this boundary. This is my boundary. I've seen that, but I've not seen one that was like manipulative or, because remember, when you're dealing with with true dissociative identity disorder, this person has fractured themselves into multiple personalities in order to handle different situations. There's not enough of them there to do the manipulation and the cruelty and the this and the that and the other thing. If they're doing that, there's something else going on, I'm thinking. So I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I have not seen that. So, and I have worked a lot with dissociative identity disorder. So there that is. Okay. Abusers. Okay. Do abusers use their kids as bait? Yes, they absolutely do. They will, you know, oh, look what a great father I am. Look what a great mother I am. Look at how much I love children, when they really don't. And what they're looking for is for somebody who does love children, who will take care of that child. And what they want is to sucker that person in with the kids and get them more attached to the child, so that when the abused finally wakes the fuck up and goes, oh my God, I want out, they feel guilty. Hello, fear, obligation, and guilt. They feel guilty because now they've formed a bond with this child, and they feel guilty about leaving and or abandoning the child. And that was the full intent of the abuser. That's why they use their kids as bait, because they know that somebody who is going to get into an abusive relationship with them is probably codependent and is going to want to take care of this child. And then when they finally wake up and go to leave, now they've got this bond with this kid, and they're not going to abandon the kid because they're honorable. Oh yeah, abusers have no honor. They have no honor. They will use anything and everything that they think they can in order to keep their target of abuse with them, including their own children. You betcha. Okay, rigid thinking, my way or the highway. Okay, so this is, rigid thinking is called splitting. So it's black and white, good and bad, all or nothing. It's like, it's either this or that. It's an or world for these people. It's not an and world. For everybody else, it's an and world. It's like, do you want a hot fudge sundae or a banana split? How about both? Okay, you know, it's an and world. So, but with them, it's an or world. It's you're either with me or against me. That's really what it is. It's like you're either with me or against me. It's this or it's that. It's black or it's white. There's no colors in between because they can't cope with it. So the rigid thinking is basically a way for an abuser to simplify the world, and it makes it easier for them to abuse because it's either right or wrong, period. There's no in between. There's no, discussion. There's no, gosh, I didn't know that's what you were thinking. Boy, I didn't understand. There's none of that. It's like you're right or you're wrong, period. And it's a very immature way of thinking, because mature minds are able to go, oh, look at the world, plethora of colors and grays, oh my, but with an abuser, it's always black, white, good, bad, all, nothing, period. That's all they can deal with. So yeah, that's why they do that. And it's like I said, it's an immature way of thinking, and it is a learned behavior that they probably learned from their parents. But it's also used as a way to punish. It's used as a way to justify. It's used as a way to harm. So you never want to get involved with anybody who's got really rigid thinking. I mean, you can have some black and white areas, but mostly most humans deal in gray. Because life is not black and white. Life is technicolor, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And it takes flexibility, and it takes adaptability, and it takes a really good sense of self to be able to go, hey, I may not be right. You might be right. Let's investigate. Let's see if you're right. Let's see if this is right. Let's see if this is different from what I'm thinking. It takes a very secure person to do that. And obviously, abusers are not secure, and they can't do that. That's why they've got the rigid thinking. It's got to be this way or that way, my way or the highway, that kind of thing. So, because a secure person is going to go, well, I believe that this is correct, but I really want to hear your point of view because I may be wrong. Just like I was saying with Ryan. It's like, I have not had the experience of them being abusers, but Ryan has. Does that mean one of us is wrong? No. It means he's had a different experience than I've had. So yeah, so you want to listen to multiple people's experiences, but then make up your own mind. Whereas with rigid thinkers, with abusers, it's my way, the highway, good, bad, all, nothing. And they blah, la, 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 la. They don't want to hear other experiences. So that's dangerous. So yeah, anyway, there's that. Support systems. Okay, so when you are leaving an abusive relationship, hugely important, ginormously important. Oh my God, I cannot stress this enough. Get a support system. Yes, you're absolutely right. They do not allow their victims to grow. They don't want them to grow. They don't want them to grow. You're absolutely right. They will sabotage therapy. They will sabotage support systems. They will sabotage friends, family, etc., because they do not want the target of abuse to do well. They don't. If you love somebody, you want them to do well. You know, you wish them well. You know, even if it doesn't work out between the two of them, you say something like, hey, I really wish you well. Good luck. Good luck with that. I'm going to go do my thing, but I wish you well. You know what I'm saying? And then you leave them the fuck alone. But abusers do not want their target of abuse to have support. So that's why they isolate. That's why they systematically get rid of all your family, your friends, you know, your things, and then they replace them with their family, their friends, their kid. Do you see where I'm going with that? And they do this because they want to make you completely dependent upon them. And they want to make sure that you have no support system if you choose to leave, because you're going to need a support system. So a support system, what does that look like? That's your tribe. That's your tribe. Guys, it's all of you. It's all of you. You're the tribe. You are the tribe. Oh my God, I'm going to start singing We Are the World, help me. So yeah, you are the tribe, guys. It's the people that hang out with Richard Grannon. They are the tribe. It's the people that hang out with Melanie Tanya Evans. They are the tribe. It is the people that hang out with Kim Saeed. They are the tribe. It is the people that Arabi, she's amazing. They are the tribe. So it's like all of us who are doing all of this work and all of the people who follow all of us, these are your tribe, guys. These are your support, because they've been there, done that. I've been there, done that. Richard's been there, done that. Kim Saeed's been there, done that. Melanie Tanya Evans been there, done that. You know, Arabi's been there, done that. These are your tribes, and the people who follow us, they are your tribe. Find them. Find them, talk to each other, get together. You know what I'm saying? You are the tribe. This is it. This is, you know, so find your tribe. You want to find people who have been there, done that, and understand it. Because remember how I was talking about that normal people, normal in bunny ears, normal people do not understand abuse, because normal people think that everyone is going to behave the way that they do, right? Because you're nice and you're kind, and you wouldn't think of harming somebody. You wouldn't think of isolating somebody. You wouldn't think of, you know, keeping them from their kid. You wouldn't think of, you know, lying about stuff. You wouldn't think, because that's not what normal people do, but abusers do. And so it's really hard for normal people to wrap their heads around what we have been through, which is why we have to educate the living crap out of everybody, which is why I'm saying share these videos, share them. Share them. Talk to therapists, you know, encourage your therapists to go get educated on frickin' domestic violence and what abusers do, and the abuse survivors syndrome, because it's like I said, there's a playbook for every single frickin' abuser out there. They use the same exact phraseology. They do the exact same things: sleep deprivation, food deprivation, putting you down, isolating you from family and friends. But on the flip side, on the survivor side, we go through the exact same thing. We go through the fog. We go through the cognitive dissonance. We go through the whole, who the hell am I? I don't even know who I am anymore. You know, finding ourselves again. It's like there's a playbook for both of them. So therapists should frickin' know this shit. And why they don't is just, don't get me started, because I'll start screaming. Seriously, it just pisses me right the fuck off. Why aren't we teaching this in school? Why aren't we educating the up-and-coming therapists as to what is going on out there in the world? And it's way underreported. Remember how they said it was like 7 to 8% or 4 to 7% were abusers or narcissists? Bullshit. I'm calling 30%, because they don't go get diagnosed. They don't go to therapy, so there's no diagnosis. Hello? If they don't go, it's not going to be diagnosed. If it's not diagnosed, it's not going to be reported. Jesus Christ, common fucking sense, not too common. Anyway, so, all right, so there it is. Sorry. Little sidetrack there. Okay, so, okay, let's see if I can back up on this. Can I back up? It's gonna let me back up, yay! Okay, let's see if I missed any questions. All right, oh, geez, Louise, stop that. It just got really big and I don't know why. Okay, that's what she said. Sorry, I'm so tired. I'm not running on much sleep. Okay, okay, Good for you. Yeah, don't let them stop your growth. They absolutely want you to stop your growth. They don't want you to get better. They don't want you to learn about yourself. They don't want you to get self-esteem. Absolutely, because then you're not easily controlled and easily manipulated. So I have actually heard narcissists say, I like dating borderlines, especially the quiet ones, because they're easily controlled and manipulated. That's not okay. That's not okay. So yeah, they like people that are easily controlled and manipulated. And I've heard this from more than one abuser. So this is not anything new. Okay. You're so right. I realized why my parents made me dependent and isolated for a reason. Too late. Yeah, it's never too late, guys. It's never too late. As long as there is breath in your body, it is never too late. Get the hell out of the abusive relationship. Go work on yourself. So this week I have been working with a lot of people who have been in abusive relationships, and seriously, I kid you not, and you know this because you've been through it, they will sit on my couch and they will look at me and go, I have no idea what I like. I don't even know if I like chocolate. I don't even know if I like vanilla. I don't know what I like. I know what my abuser likes, but I don't know what I like. The other thing I've seen too with abusers is that in the relationship, they will demand that the target of abuse spend all of their money on them. And so that when the target of abuse then gets out of a relationship, they feel guilty for spending money on themselves or taking care of themselves, or, you know, getting a manicure or a pedicure or their hair done, or, you know, just a massage or something like that, because they're so used to give. And that is the disease to please. That is the codependency. And abusers are adept at, you know, making us feel guilty for taking care of ourselves. They do. They guilt trip you. How dare you? How dare you take care of yourself? How dare you bought yourself that beautiful mixer? How dare you did this for you with your own money? That's the thing that always blows my mind. So anyway, that's that. Yes, they will do that. Okay. Yeah, we're warriors, guys. We are. And we are up against a darkness like you would not believe, because these people are evil and they do kill. They do. They kill either directly, the, you know, complete psychopaths, the ones that, you know, we just had a shooting at Baseline and Greenfield that was a order of protection violation. The guy had a gun and the police knew it, and he started firing at the police. The police fired back. I do not feel sorry for the guy. So yeah, they're crazy and they're dangerous. You bet your sweet bippy. You got to be careful. And they'll either do it directly like that, or they will kill indirectly by the sleep deprivation, the starvation, or the feeding you the horrible food, or the, you know, not letting you exercise, you know, that kind of thing. That's what they do. Okay. All right. Now that I have no family, now he has made me the bad guy to his family because I told him I'm not falling for his abuse anymore. I wish he would have just physically hurt me instead of fucking with my head. Yeah. Where can I start to find a support system? He has kept me locked in the home for 4 years. Get out. 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 Get with a therapist. Get out. You've got to leave. It's not safe. It's totally not safe. Your support system is here, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. If you have any suggestions for Deborah, give her some suggestions, because that's not a good situation. Support systems can be found anywhere in any social services. So if you look up Catholic Charities has support groups for victims of domestic violence. That's a good place to start. The other place to start would be Jewish Family Services. That would be another one. So any of these agencies should have a domestic violence support system, support group, or they will have some sort of group therapy for targets of domestic violence. That's a good way to start. Biggest thing to help me was realizing that I am now free to do, like, love, hate, and enjoy the shit out of whatever the fuck I like now. There's no time limit on figuring out what that is either, so make the learning fun. Yeah, absolutely. It's okay. Give yourself permission. So one of the main things that we have to do is when we leave an abusive relationship, we have to give ourselves permission to go explore who we are, to spend money on ourselves, to get healthy, et cetera, which is why I say do the mirror work. Do the mirror work. Look in the mirror, say hello, good to see you. Because how does that feel? It feels good when somebody says it's good to see you. Hello, good to see you. Have a great day. I give you permission to find yourself, you know, or I give you permission to like yourself, or I give you permission to have fun, or I give you permission to spend your own money on yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like you give yourself the permission that you didn't get in the relationship. Definitely get with a good therapist. You need somebody to help undo that programming. So, all right, where was I? Support system. Martyr complex. Okay, so the covert ones are a little more likely to do the martyr thing. So the martyr thing is something along the lines of, look what I do all of this for you. You never write, you never call. I'm so hurt that you never do anything. And I look at all that I do for you and you do nothing. Yeah, that's the poor me, the world's tiniest little violin. So yeah, they do the poor me thing. Look at all I do for you and you don't do anything for me, which is a load of crap. So, all right, hang on. Loving your chat. I cannot leave him. We cannot divorce in our culture. Oh, I'm looking for excuses, doing research to prove he is not a narc, but he has all the traits and abuses me emotionally, financially, and physically. Oh my God, honey. I am so sorry. Get out. I know it's not in your culture, but Jesus Christ, I do not believe in a merciful God that approves of abuse. I don't. I really don't. So if you can get out, get out. And if you can't, I don't know what to tell you, because it's not going to get better. Because statistically, historically, they get worse as they get older. And especially if they have their target of abuse locked in, they just keep upping the ante. So be careful. All right, here goes. Remember one occasion, a big birthday for him a good many years ago. I bought him a gold watch equivalent of $250, 18 years ago. Not that I was keeping tabs. He actually said he was disappointed with it, and I had to go back and get one for $350 instead for him. What was wrong with me? I should have taken it back, period. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Carolyn. All right. Yeah, they do that. They're not appreciative of gifts at all. Period. It's like it's not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. Where do you think we get that from? Not good enough. Not good enough. And they shove that shit into our head. So yeah, that's no bueno. Okay. My in-laws tried to make me feel like I was the crazy one for so long. Realized my in-law and sister-in-law are both massive narcissists. Explains so much for me as well as others. Sister-in-law being a flying monkey. When I started watching your videos, it was all like the crazy things were explained. Total light bulb moment. Now I feel so justified in my decision for no contact. Good for you. Stay no contact. Abso-freaking-lutely. I don't care who the fuck they think they are. I don't care if they're mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, friend, boss, sibling, parents, romantic partner, anyone who treats you with disrespect and is abusive, boot them to the curb. Life is too short. You don't need it. Absolutely. Good for you, girl. You go. Okay. Yeah, the longer you stay, the more dependent they make you. So please find a way out. Abso-freaking-lutely. I cannot stress that enough. Martyr complex. Sorry, back to that. Martyr complex. So they do the poor me thing. I do everything for you. You don't do anything for me. Poor me, poor me, poor me. And they generally do this as a play for the public. So great example. My dad was loved to quote King Lear, and his favorite line was, how sharper than a serpent's tooth is that of an ungrateful child. And so he considered all of us ungrateful, and he would pour all of his love and attention onto total strangers. I mean, he would give away, you know, music books and music lessons and you know, acting lessons and this, that, and the other thing to total strangers, but his own family, he was like, you know, so, and that's what they do. That's just what they do. And of course, his whole thing was, oh, you know, my family doesn't appreciate me, and I'll look at how hard I work for them, and they don't appreciate it. Well, yes, he did work hard. However, he also held over our head every cent he spent, whether it was on us or not. So yeah, they do the sympathy, the martyr thing is for a public show kind of thing, of feel sorry for me kind of thing. So, and do they do that a lot? Yeah, you betcha. I went no contact with my only sibling, sister, about 8 years ago, and my life has been much more peaceful since I did. Good job. Don't be scared to step out of your comfort zone and try something new, knowing it's your choice. You just finished living out your comfort zone, so you know you can do it, but this time you can make the rules and you choose. It's so liberating. P.S. Choosing to eat chocolate for breakfast occasionally is also liberating. I like that. Okay. Yeah, your dad treated strangers better than family. That's what they do because they don't love themselves. And if they can't love them, they can't love their kids. Not truly, not really. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, they'll say they love their kids, but actions, words, actions, words. Always look to the actions. Don't look to the words. We are having a windstorm outside and it is the weirdest thing because usually we get these like haboob things and there's like a thunderstorm that comes behind it. But this one, there's no thunderstorm. It's just dust. Yuck. Anyway, where was I? Okay. My covert loved to claim you owe me all the time, like he was keeping tabs on the list of what he did. He threw it in my face every chance he could. Yeah, they do. Absolutely. Whether a parent or whether they're a romantic partner, they absolutely play the you owe me game. You betcha. Yeah, start talking to resources. Pay attention to those paying attention to you, the police, domestic violence shelter, therapist, attorneys. Find those kinds of support so you can make an escape plan. Absolutely. Make a paper trail. Find your state law on voice recording. One party, multiple party, document someplace safe. Yeah, thank you, Erin. That was awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, so martyr complex. So they do that for a public show. They just want sympathy. They just want people to feel sorry for them. And they want to point out how horrible their family is, which I don't personally understand because you kind of think that, yeah, never mind. Anyway, toxic friends. Yay, let's talk about toxic friends. I have said this before. If people are not supportive and they are actively wanting you to fail, or if they are doing things to make you fail, they are not your friends. Also, if they are colluding with the abuser, okay, they are flying monkeys. That too is not your friend. So if they are in competition with you, constantly competing, that is not your friend. A friend is somebody who is just there and loves you and hangs out and you like their company and they like your company and you like the same things and you go do fun things together. No competition, no drama, no bullshit. That's a friend. But with people who are disordered, it's a competition. There's a whole bunch of drama and there's a ton of bullshit. That is not a friend. So friendships are pretty much drama-free zones. None of my friends are drama people, no drama mamas, because it's like, life is too short. All of us are therapists and we hear it every day and we don't want to hear it when we hang out with each other. So, it's like, it's fun, it's breezy, it's supportive. It's, if somebody does well or gets an accolade, we're all there to support the other person and go, yes, go you, that's fabulous. So there's no drama. There's no drama in a healthy relationship, in a healthy friendship. Vegas is having a windstorm. Oh, must be all over the West then. Okay, let's see. No, not all men are like your husband, honey. Not all men are narcs. Not all men are narcs. I cannot stress that enough. There are healthy, normal, sane men out there. There are. Now, are there a lot of narcissists? You betcha. But not all men are that way. Not all women are that way. So when we've been in an abusive relationship, there is that tendency to, what's the word I'm looking for? Overgeneralize, or to think that all men are this way or all women are this way. And they're not. They're really not. They're really not. Trust me. I would not be married to John if he was an abuser. Trust me on that one. Okay. Oh, geez. Yeah, they will make their kids starve. They will, in order to be impressive to other people. They're just assholes. I told my ex's best friend that I was sick and tired of a man-child. His comment was, but he don't cheat on you. What the fuck? Bosh, Felicia. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's you don't put up with flying monkeys. You just don't put up with flying monkeys. Those are not friends. Anybody who approves of or allows or doesn't call out the abuse. Like, so if an abuser is abusing and a friend doesn't say anything, that too is not a good friend. A good friend is going to say, hello, red flags, hello, I'm scared for what I see. But then what will end up happening is that the target of abuse will run back to the abuser, and then the abuser will demand to get rid of that friend. But, at least you've said your piece, and at least you've said, hey, dumbass, I love you enough to say, this is scary, and you should take a look at this. Oh, well, their loss. All right, so let's see, where are we? How to detach. What does it mean When an abuser cries, okay, and I think I talked about this in last week's video. So abusers do not have real tears. They're called crocodile tears. So what I've seen abusers do, and they do this all the damn time, they will come in and they will get caught red-handed, either abusing or cheating or something, and they'll do the whole tearing up, but nothing ever comes out of their eyes. It's weird. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like they'll tear up, they'll get the teary kind of look to them, but sometimes is what they'll do is, like somebody pointed out, like they'll look through their fingers to see if you're looking at them, or they'll look to see if you're buying the story, and sometimes it's real subtle, but yeah, they do that. They don't have, and if they're crying, it's a great performance. Bravo, bravo. Academy Award winning, fantastic. That's what it is, because real people don't use tears as a manipulation. But I'll tell you what, abusers do. Abso-fucking-lutely, male and female. So there it is. Hubby's been no contact with his parents since the summer. We've spent tons of time working on his recovery. I've been mostly normal through 20 years of their abuse because I never thought they were normal. I did suffer some emotional flashbacks, PTSD, CPTSD initially, but since my husband has gotten much better and there's no contact with him, I'm thinking I might get back to my normal. Is there an area where I might be missing something? Not much written for spouses. Thanks, planning to see you in Atlanta. Oh, fantastic, Candace. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, there's not a whole lot written for the spouse of a child of a narcissist. So basically what it is that you should probably write everything down that happened to you, go through it and work through anything that you and your spouse have not talked about, and make sure that it stays no contact. So I can tell you from my own personal experience, my husband's mom pulled the same stuff. She started, trying to convince them that I was doing things that I wasn't doing, that I was spending his money and blah, blah, blah. And she was pissed because I was spending my money on myself. Big surprise. Anyway, and I told him she's not welcome in the house and you need to go to therapy. So he did. He went to therapy. He worked on himself. She has not been back here in years. And basically, I tell him, it's like, if you want to go visit her, that's great. She's your mom. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. However, I am nervous every single time you go, and she's not welcome in this house, and I don't want her to know anything I'm doing, and we'll go to therapy when you come back from visiting her, because I want to make sure that you and I are still good. So yeah, because you realize and it happens every single time he goes back to visit the family, she does try. It doesn't work with him anymore. But yeah, for that first little bit, she would try to work on him. And that's why there was the danger of him going home, because I was afraid, oh my God, he's just going to fall right back into that brainwashing. But it's been enough years that it's been okay. Just make sure you guys have got an open line of communication and that you guys are talking about everything. Make sure that you are talking about, what was said. Is she trying to call you? Is she trying to sabotage? What's going on? Is there anything he needs to say? Does he feel resentful? What's going on with that? Open communication, open communication, open communication, open communication. So yeah, mothers-in-laws and fathers-in-laws can be really nasty. You betcha. So write it all out. Write it all out and ask your spouse to write it all out. Is there anything that needs to be discussed that has not been discussed? Discuss it. Open line of communication between the two of you. That's the most important thing. Open, honest communication. You bet. All right. Let's see. Yeah, they cry for themselves, not for us. Totally. They're sad that they got caught. They're pissed that they got caught. And they think if they do the whole, bullshit, that people are going to fall for it. And they don't, there's no there, guys. I cannot even begin to tell you that. So it's crocodile tears. It's fake tears. It's not real. It's not. Especially when you're dealing with somebody who is older and they're doing something or got caught doing something that they should fucking know better, like cheating. There you go. Stealing money, whatever. It's like, no, so yeah, when they get caught, they pull out the tears. It's one of two things. Either they are able to actually manufacture the tears, but they're looking to see whether you're buying it or not. And usually what I see is they're not usually that sophisticated. And so they do the whole tearing up, but it never spills down their face. And that's kind of how you know. Because like when somebody is truly distressed, they can't control it. These guys can turn it on and off like a faucet. Yeah. Okay. All right. They also do the silent and ignore treatment. Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. Best thing I ever did was stop the horrendously painful visits to the in-laws. Yeah, that's me too. I stopped going because I was like, nope, life is too short. I am not spending another second more with this person. So yeah, you bet. My abusive husband once threatened to take the kids away from me to keep me in line, thinking of leaving but dreading his reaction. Any advice? You get your safety plan together first, okay? You get it together first. You have a place to go. You have money set aside, and you don't hesitate, because somebody pointed this out. I can't remember if it was here in one of the videos or if it was on private message. But basically, you don't sit there and say, okay, well, when I get everything together, then I'll go. No, you get it together, you go. Lightning strike, blitzkrieg. I hate to say it, but it's like you want to do a blitzkrieg when you leave one of these assholes, because you don't want to give them time to figure out how to intimidate you, threaten you, harm you, get legal counsel, do whatever. Go, just fucking go. Get your safety plan together, get a domestic violence shelter you can go to, get a social worker, get a lawyer, go. Leave, go. You want to do it as quickly as possible. What is his reaction going to be? He's probably going to be a vindictive son of a bitch. You bet. That's why you need a lawyer. That's why you need to make sure you have all your ducks in a row, but you want to do it quickly and you want to go, and you don't want to sit there and talk yourself out of it, because we will talk ourselves out of leaving because we are terrified. Basically, because they've made us terrified and they have shown us that they can do and often do really awful things. But if you stay, the awful things will continue anyway, so you might as well leave and get some eyes on this, because once they know that people are looking at them, they are less likely to do stupid things. So that's my advice. Anybody else have advice for her? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, they'll threaten to take the kids. They'll threaten to be, here's the deal. Hold on just a second. Most judges are loath to give full custody to any parent. You really need to prove that there is abuse or neglect going on before a judge, at least in Arizona, will give up full custody to one parent, okay? So I don't think you need to worry about that. What you would need to worry about is him kidnapping the kids. I've seen them do things like that. Also, you would need to worry about parental alienation, but that can be dealt with therapy, and you make sure that therapy is in the custody agreement, that the kids get therapy and you get to pick the therapist. So there that is. All right, if anybody else has suggestions, that would be awesome. Yeah, one of the biggest things that broke my heart was how my friends knew and had seen the cruel and abusive behavior to me with their own eyes. One even experienced it for herself, but still followed him, took his side, because he had the power to threaten their job if he wanted to make them suffer if they didn't. There was enough people that if we all stood up together, he would not have had a chance. Sadly, though, as much as we might stand up for what's right ourselves, many will not do that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's how you're going to know how your friends are, really, truly. There's nothing that tells you who your friends are like marriages, divorces, and funerals. Those 3 life events will let you know who's your real friend and who's not. Yeah, people don't like to risk themselves. Absolutely. Okay. Is it normal to be wanting to... Oh, yeah, withholding sex. Oh, God, Sheila, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. So, okay, so what narcissists do, so the question was, I had to read that through because I wanted to make sure it wasn't a troll. So the question was, is it normal to be horny? Yeah, absolutely, especially because narcissists do one of 2 things. Well, no, they do one thing. Well, no, they do 2 things. Okay, back up. So what happens is in the love bombing phase, they mirror you. Right? So they mirror your sexuality, they mirror your libido, they mirror everything about you. You like, kinky sex, they like kinky sex. You like whipped cream on the nipples, they like whipped cream on the nipples. It's like everything you like, they like, okay? But when they get their hooks into you, usually what ends up happening is sex dries up. Sex dries up. And now you're sitting there going, what the hell happened to this amazing sex life that I had? So they will withhold sex. Sex is a weapon. Sex is used as a weapon. Abso-freaking-lutely. You betcha. So if they've been withholding sex, yeah, you're going to want to come out of that relationship and just dive right into some sort of, sexual relationship immediately. Don't do it. 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 Don't fucking do it. Here's the deal. I know you've been deprived of sex for God knows how many years. You need to take this time, this entire year's period, to heal yourself. The Victorians had it correctly. A year and a day. Go through the firsts. Go through all the firsts. Work on yourself. Get the self-esteem workbook. Work on the disease to please. Get rid of the codependency. Are you going to be horny? Yeah, you betcha. But you do not want your inner teenager driving your relationships. Does that make sense? So yeah, you're going to want to have the crazy sex when you get out of that relationship, but you also want to make sure that when you're doing that, you're safe and protected and you're not being driven by the inner child or the inner teenager, and that you are with somebody who is going to be loving, kind, gentle, respectful, etc., you know, disease-free, preferably, you know, all of that stuff. So yeah, you don't necessarily want a fuck buddy. And the reason why is because what we tend to do, because we're codependent, is we will bond with that person like nobody's business. So remember, trauma bonding isn't just bonding over trauma. It's when somebody treats us kindly. If we've been in an abusive relationship and somebody treats us kindly, we have a tendency to want to meld with them. That's why you got to work on the disease to please. That's why you got to work on the codependency so that you do not do that. So you don't just fall right back into another relationship just because they're having sex with you, because 9 times out of 10, guess what? There'll be another abuser. So gotta work on that original wound, guys. Work on that original wound. Where did this all come from? How did we get groomed to be with somebody like this? That's what you gotta work on. What should you do? Well, it's normal to have those sexual drives. And again, unless you are, and I know some people can do it, I'm not the type that ever could. You know, it was always amazing to me in college how all of my, you know, girlfriends and stuff, and especially in the drama department, oh my God, it was like hopping in and out of bed with everybody, and they just, you know, no attachment. It was just a great time. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that. You know? So you got to know yourself well. I know myself well enough to know that that would never work. I cannot be, you know, a friends with benefits kind of thing. It's just not in my nature, you know? So I know that's what you want to do, but wait a year. And you've waited this long. It's not going to kill you to wait longer. Do you feel like you're going to explode? Yeah, probably. But wait a year and a day. Wait a year and a day, work on yourself, you know, and pleasure yourself. That's all you can do right now. I mean, unless you can get a fuck buddy and stay detached and do that, that's great. But if you find yourself getting attached to that person, that friends with benefits, then Houston, you got a problem. So that's what I got to say about that. Okay, where was I? Good Lord, I have no idea. Crying. When an abuser cries, I think I covered that. Okay. No, you're not off topic, Sheila. I'm just answering questions. So that was a totally valid question. Totally valid question. Because abusers, like I said, they will love bomb you and mirror your libido. And then as soon as they get you, the sex dries up. And then they make you feel undesirable or not sexy or whatever. And that's couldn't be further from the truth. They're the ones with the problem. So yeah, that's a totally valid question. Totally valid question. Okay. Oh, please. My narc sibling or sister-in-law loves to say you should know my heart whenever being confronted to try to excuse her bad behavior. Barf. Total barf, Allison. Absolutely. You know, healthy, normal people do not go around hurting each other. Healthy, normal people do not rage at each other. Healthy, normal people do not do passive-aggressive bullshit. Healthy, normal people are not snarky. Healthy, normal people do not sabotage. Healthy, normal people do not fill in the blank. So whatever abusers do, they don't do it. Healthy people don't do that. All right. Sheila, don't apologize. You're fine. Okay. Honey, you're not a whore. You're not a whore. You're human. Sexual urges, sexual needs are human. We need sexual touch. We do. We need physical touch. We need to have that sense of being loved. And it's both emotionally, intimately, and sexually. So please don't make yourself wrong for that. Don't. But I just want to make sure that you're not, you know, getting attached to like a friends with benefits thing. You need to figure out who you are, what you want, what you need first. That's all I'm saying. And it drives me crazy when men and women get accused of being a whore because they want sex. Where the fuck did that come from? Seriously. It's like, look, it's a human natural thing. Okay, if it wasn't, none of us would be here, and there's 7 billion of us here, so I'm thinking something is working somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's a normal human response. Sexuality is normal. Wanting sex is normal. It's normal. What isn't normal is the abusers who withhold the sex, who then turn around and tell us that we are nymphomaniacs, a whore, a slut, you know, blah, 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 because they're withholding sex and we want sex. Yeah, they're the ones with the problem, guys, not us. Okay. All right. Okay, where did this go? Hang on. Yeah, at one point I burst into tears when someone was kind to me. Yeah, we do. We do, because we're so not used to it. We're so not used to it, especially if we came from a dysfunctional family and then we got involved with a romantic partner that was abusive, and then we get out and then somebody's nice to us and we're just like overwhelmed because it's like, I'm so not used to this. Yeah, absolutely. You betcha. Okay. Yeah, don't look for a rescuer. Absolutely right, Ryan. And that's what I was trying to say. You said it, the word rescuer. So we look for a rescuer when we come out of one of these relationships because we want somebody to love us so badly that we're just desperate for somebody to give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, give a fuck. Seriously. So, you know, we don't want a rescuer. We don't. We want somebody who is going to be a partner, not a rescuer. So it's not a one-up situation. It's an equal situation. It's like, our words and our actions match, and we're helping each other, and we're supportive of each other, and it's not one's above the other. We're equal. So yeah, we don't want a rescuer. Absolutely. Hey, Stacy. Okay. My ex told me for 2 years I was way too lovable, lovey-dovey things. Yeah, they can. The love bombing phase can last anywhere from a couple of months all the way up to a couple of years. Absolutely, until they decide to flip the switch. So that's the confusing thing, really. Okay. Hello, Autumn. Okay, where was I? All right, so next question. Wanting to attach quickly, is that part of trauma bonding? Yes, isn't that funny? That was the next question. So yeah, trauma bonding is when we come out of this horrible situation and somebody is kind to us and we want to meld with them immediately. And yeah, that is part of trauma bonding. That's why I'm saying you've got to go through a year and a day, and you've got to work on yourself, and you've got to work on that trauma, and you've got to work on that original wound, the mom, the dad, the caregiver, whoever groomed you to be abused in the first place, so that you can fix that wound, so that you're not looking for somebody else to patch that wound. Does that make sense? You've got to fix that wound on your own. And then once it's, you know, understood and fixed for you, not for them, but for you, then you can go out and look for a partner. So yeah, there it is. All right. Is my husband threatened that I know so much about psychology and behavior? Absolutely not. He's 110% supportive. John's a great guy. John is just the sweetest, nicest, kindest, most supportive man on the face of the planet. Have we had our problems? You betcha. Because of his mother? Oh, hell yeah. So, but once we work through those, we're doing pretty good. So no, he's not threatened by me in any way, shape, or form. I'm not threatened by him. He is an IT guy, so he does computer stuff. And he understands computers. I don't. Honest to God, for me, a computer is like, ooh, magic box, push button, goes on. Ooh, that's my extent of experience with computers. I mean, it's a magic box. And for him, he's kind of sort of understanding some of the psychology stuff, but he's never threatened by it. And I'm never threatened by the fact that he can just go in and do code and, you know, do all sorts of things. There's no jealousy. There's no threatening. Why? Because we are partners. Yeah, absolutely. Had a girlfriend, our AC unit went out in a triple-digit weather. Oh God, I'm so sorry. My husband and I are both older and in frail health. I thanked her for her offer to be at our house until the AC was fixed, but I had to decline, too sick to pack up, and would not have been comfortable just sitting over there. Later, she blasted me horribly on Facebook because I had turned down her offer. I mean, it was venom. I've heard of hero narcissism. This seems to fit her perfectly. Yeah, okay, so hero narcissism is when it's kind of like a communal narcissist. So they do it for the community. They do it for the praise. They do it to look good in the eyes of others kind of things. And when somebody turns down their heroic effort, they are butthurt. They have received narcissistic injury, and that's why they go onto Facebook and then blast the person who did not accept their generous offer of help. So yeah, that's a communal narcissist. That's another version of a communal narcissist. So this is called heroic narcissism. It's the same thing. It's basically you're doing it for the community. So these are the guys, hold on a second, I gotta drink something, hang on. And these are the guys who stand up at the pulpit every Sunday and, you know, make a point of showing how much money they're putting in the thing, you know, I can't think of it, the plate, you know, that they pass around. Or they make a point of, you know, look how good I am, look at all these good deeds I do, look at all this, look at all that. But then as soon as somebody turns them down, that person is shit, and they go after them, and how dare you, and you're arrogant, and how dare you not accept my help, and blah, 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 blah. So they're communal narcissists, basically, is what they are. Okay. All right. Thank you, my love, and you are too. You are a lovely human being too, and you deserve to be treated well. Please take good care of yourself. I am now worried for you, so please take good care of you. You don't deserve to be abused. You don't. Nobody does. Nobody on the face of the planet does. I don't care who they are. Okay. All right. You are welcome, sweetie. Okay. So where was I? Oh, attaching. So yeah. So when we've been abused, when we have been through a trauma, we will tend to attach to anybody who looks like a hero, or who looks like a rescuer, or who looks like the answer to all our prayers, you know, yada, yada, yada. When we've been neglected and abused, we have this, you know, inner child is the one that's driving it. And the inner child, especially if it was a parent as the original wound, is looking for a parent to make it better. And so that's why we keep putting these other people onto this wound, and all we're doing is compounding it. We're not fixing it. We're just making it worse, kind of thing. So, but it's the inner child that's driving the show, which is why you've got to work on the inner child to fix that attachment. And can it be fixed? Yes. If you hang out around healthy people, it can be fixed. And if you work on yourself, it can be fixed. Is that knee-jerk or little reaction always going to be there? Yes. But you'll be able to go, oh, I recognize that knee-jerk little reaction. Let's just say no to that. Yeah, absolutely. It's consciousness, it's awareness, it's working on the issue, and yes, it does get better. I'm still having nightmares too of the ex and his family. Yeah, that's normal, guys. So remember, PTSD, part of PTSD, CPTSD, is nightmares, because our brain is processing this person no longer being in our lives and is trying to process the drama. So nightmares are often a feature, not always, but often a feature of PTSD, of CPTSD, absolutely. What does working on the original attachment look like? That means going and doing inner child work. That means exploring what your relationship was with your caregivers. Who taught you that it was okay for somebody to abuse the living crap out of you? Who was abusive in your life as a child? What age did you get damaged? Was your relationship to your caregivers a secure attachment where you knew that you were going to be taken care of no matter what? Or was it an insecure attachment where you were never sure what the hell you were going to walk into? That's mostly what I see. And then there's also insecure attachment with dismissive features. So those are usually borderlines who have decided that, okay, I've been hurt by my original caregiver, and I'm going to push away anybody who loves me so that I can be in control, in charge, so that I am the one in charge of pushing them away, as opposed to abandoning them, as opposed to them abandoning me. So yeah, those can be worked on. Get with a good therapist. Get with a good therapist. Find somebody who does childhood trauma. Find somebody who does EMDR. Find somebody who works with domestic violence. Find somebody who works with kids that have been abused, because that's what we're dealing with. It's the kid, it's the inner kid, it's the little kid inside of us that got damaged with this original attachment, insecure, that caused us to be groomed to be abused by a romantic partner, or by friends, or by a boss, or by fill in the blank. Okay, let's see. Hang on. Nikki, I hope that answered your question. Okay, so 2 years of legal battles, ruining my career, turning everyone I know against me by making up lies, and even saying I was crazy, and on, whoa, antipsychotics. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Never taken an antipsychotic in my life, but had stopped taking them, and wait, what? But had stopped taking them, gotten worse before he kicked me out. I actually was leaving him finally, which pushed him over the edge, and he beat the crap out of me. Oh my God. All the while telling me everyone hates me for, oh, sweet baby Jesus. Once the prosecutor withdrew, oh my God, the prosecutor withdrew the charges. Oh my God. Wow, Melissa, that's crazy. Count yourself lucky you survived. Oh my God. Honestly, just count yourself lucky. Make sure that you've blocked all of his numbers. Make sure that he has no contact with you whatsoever. If he does try to contact you again, I seriously would get an order of protection. I really, truly would. So yeah, that's, ooh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, they're assholes. They're dangerous. I cannot stress that enough. It's like people are always like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Don't get me started. Do all narcs cheat? Because mine lied so much and there was so many games I just knew and I didn't need to find. Okay, yeah, almost all of them do. Not all, but almost all of them do. It depends on their particular peccadillos. So if they are deeply religious and do have some fear of judgment, they tend not to do things like that, but they can still be narcissists. So there is that. Do they all cheat? Not all of them, but almost all of them. So yeah, hold on just a second. I'm telling you, with this wind and everything, and it's so dry here, it's just crazy. I think I'm gonna have to go water all the garden again this morning or this afternoon. Okay. Yeah, as you work on things, the dreams will get less and less. And as you process them consciously, the dreams will get less and less. So a lot of it is the subconscious trying to figure out why this person isn't here anymore, what happened, et cetera, et cetera. So the dreams will get less and less as time goes on. Will EMDR help my narc husband? Okay, EMDR is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. So EMDR is meant for PTSD. It is meant for people who have been through trauma. So what EMDR does is it bypasses the amygdala so that you can experience or re-talk about the trauma without having to feel it, like re-experience it like a flashback kind of thing. That's the simplified version of what EMDR is. The only known modality that helps with any personality disorder is dialectic, D, behavioral, B, therapy, T, DBT, dialectic behavioral therapy. That is the only one that has any sort of efficacy with any sort of personality disorder. Now, here's the problem. Most people with a personality disorder do not want to go get help. They just don't. They don't think they have a problem. And so getting them into a DBT program is next to impossible. The ones that you will find in a DBT program are generally the ones that are at the lower end of the spectrum where they kind of see that there's a problem and things are not working for them and they realize they need to work on it. So we're talking like the quiet borderlines, we're talking like the hermits. Once you get into the queens and the witches or in the true narcissistic personality disordered people, they have no interest in getting help. It's not them, they're not the problem, everybody else is the problem. So it's like an alcoholic. It's like they need to want the help before they'll get it. And it's unlikely that they will. So there's that. Sorry, hon. Let's see. Whoop. Oh, where'd it go? Hang on. Sorry. You are welcome, Autumn. My pleasure. My original wound started at age 6. My bio dad abused me. Then my mom's boyfriend abused me. My foster mom abused me. Oh my God. My adoptive mom is a narcissist. My adoptive dad enables her and abused me. So I had no safe adult my whole life. Now fighting in the courts to understand my plight and get my daughter back. But if my daughter doesn't come home, I'm learning to be okay with that. Good, good. Brenda, please work on yourself. So there's lots of wounds there. So get with a really good therapist. Get the self-esteem workbook by Schiraldi. That's going to be huge. You're going to need to work on self-esteem. You did not deserve to be abused. You also want to get the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. That's a good one. There's also one by John Bachman. I don't know so much about that one, but there is that. Yeah, journal. Get it out of your head, get it onto paper, burn it. Out of your head onto paper, burn it, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. You get to decide who you are from this moment forward. You get to be you, you get to love you, you get to have your life back. So yeah, please start working on yourself, be gentle, be so gentle with you, and let's start working, you start working on the trauma. When I say let's, I mean you. Start working on the trauma. from all the stuff that happened when you were 6. Get the inner child workbook, go get with a good therapist, work on your self-esteem. Gentle, 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 gentle. Do the positive self-regard. So you want to do the mirror work, you know, where you go to the mirror in the morning and you say, hello, nice to see you, good to see you. Have a wonderful day. I give you permission to like yourself, love yourself, etc. So you want to work on that. Absolutely. Be gentle with you, sweetie. Get with a really good therapist. Okay. Can they be obsessed with a person who they never got? My ex told me he liked this girl and was obsessed with, who had another boyfriend the whole time. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like obsessive ex syndrome, but it's obsessive ex that never was syndrome. Yeah, they will obsess on people that they didn't get. You bet. They can do that as well. Okay. I already told you about my ex, but when she made that latest fake account, she blasted me and said her doctor says she's depressed. I guess I imagine the abuse that went on for over 2 years. Yeah, they're crazy, James. So they will make fake accounts, absolutely, and they will go on to any social media and start blasting, you know, doing all sorts of weird stuff. And what you do is you report them every single freaking time and you write them down, because remember, it's the IP address that counts. So if you need to, you can hire a forensic PI and they can figure out which IP address it came from, and then you can get an order of protection and show that they are harassing you electronically. You betcha. So yeah, there that is. Yeah, they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And they do. They go on and they make fake addresses, fake Facebook accounts, fake YouTube accounts, and you just keep reporting them. You just keep reporting them and keep a running list. That's all you do. So yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, I'm doing individual DBT because I can't do group. Large groups of people bother me. That's fine. That's perfect. That's okay. And then I'm going to look into doing EMDR. Good. Yay. Go you. Go you. That's fantastic. Okay. Hey, Kelly. Okay. I think for some reason narcissists adopt children. I don't know why, but I've seen that a lot. My covert ex adopted 2 daughters and said he had no bond to them. Oh, God. Okay, so what they will do is they will force a pregnancy or they will adopt. Yeah, and the reason they do that is because they need a hook for the partner. So it's usually the partner is the one that is attached to the children, and you know, that's what they do, is because now they've got a guaranteed 18-year hook so that you're not going to get away. So, whoa, so many questions coming in. Hang on. Yeah, they do that, and they don't have any bond to the kids. They don't care about the children one bit. They pretend that they do, but they don't. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Not sure answered yet, but how to deal with loneliness and pain of detaching. Therapist who said harmful, wrong things won't admit she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. So, wow. We do get attached to our therapists. We do, because therapists kind of serve multifunctional purposes. It's like we're stand-in mom, we're stand-in dad, we're stand-in, you know, whatever it is. We're a safe place. We're this, that, and the other thing. If you've gotten with a therapist who said harmful, wrong things and won't admit that they did, you know, it's, you put your trust into somebody and they betrayed you. So it's kind of almost like another abuse kind of thing. So you treat it like you would any other abuse. You start journaling it. You start writing it out. If this person was harmful to you, then I would strongly suggest to you that you go to the state board and you file a complaint. So, you know, and they need to have violated a ethical thing. So, and that could possibly fall underneath it. So if that's what you need to do, take your power back, do it. Does that make sense? So yeah, and you know, by state law, at least in Arizona, we are required to keep files for 7 years. So they should have the files for the last 7 years. So if that's what you need to do, Debbie, you do it. You file a complaint with the state board, and you recognize that not everybody is a good person, and there are a lot of narcissists in my profession. You bet your sweet bippy. You will usually find them in the upper echelon, in the PhDs and the psychologists, because they are attracted to power. They want power. So yeah, you're gonna find some not good therapists, you bet. And you're gonna find therapists that are narcissists. And you're gonna find therapists that don't know the first thing about domestic violence or about abuse or about anything else. That's why you want to question them when you go to hire a therapist. You want to question them as much as they question you. So for example, when somebody calls me up, I generally give them my spiel. Hey, you know, I'm a DBT therapist, or CBT therapist. I do cognitive behavioral therapy. I use a lot of humor. Sessions are 45 minutes long. I swear like a sailor. If that's a problem, please let me know. Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on with you so I make sure we're a good fit? And then they'll tell me a little bit about what's happening with them, and that way I can either go, yeah, that's kind of not in my toolbox, let me refer you to, and then I'll refer them to whoever that specialty is, or I will say, yes, absolutely, we can work on this together. So you want to make sure that you're asking as many questions of your therapist as your therapist is asking of you. Does that make sense? You want to ask things like, you know, well, what's your modality? Most people don't even know what CBT is, or DBT, or EMDR, or reality therapy, or, you know, but you kind of, you know, if you're going to go to a therapist, you want to start looking these things up, because not everybody responds well to every form of therapy. So, for example, I despise Freud, you know that, but some people love Freud. Some people really love that whole, you know, let's get into the whole Jungian thing, let's get into the whole Freudian thing. And in that case, I have to pull out my Freudian stuff, and I have to pull out my Jungian stuff, but it's not my favorite modality. My favorite modality is cognitive behavioral therapy, because it's to the point, to the point, to the point. Let's work on this. Let's get it done. Get her done. That's my whole thing. It's like, ease the pain, get it done. Let's start working. We'll work from the top issue backwards. You know, I'm not one to be like, lie on the couch and tell me about your mother and your father. I don't give a fuck about your mother and your father right now. What I care about right now is that you're suicidal. Let's get you not suicidal. Hello? Do you see where I'm going with that? Then we'll deal with your mother and your father. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's like you hit the main topic that's bringing them in first, and then you can start working backwards to hit the original wound. And it doesn't take that much time. But if you sit there and you're like, you know, lie on the couch and tell me about your mother and your father, but meanwhile the person comes in and their main complaint is that they're depressed, well, talking about the mom and the dad is not going to necessarily help with depression. So do you see where I'm going? It's like you address what the topic is first, and then you start giving them more tools as they are able to handle it. So anyway, that's the way I do it. So yeah, you want to definitely check out your therapist 10 Ways to Sunday. Inner Child Workbook is by Catherine Taylor. Catherine Taylor. Catherine with a C, Taylor, Taylor. Okay. Would it be considered abuse or manipulative harassment that my narc ex takes my daughter to see a counselor after every visit with me? He sued for custody and won with ludicrous lies and money 8 years ago. She's 13 and wants to live with me. We are pending litigation for custody. It depends on what's in the custody agreement. You know, I don't know how to answer that, and I don't know what to tell you. That's more of a legal thing, because obviously he's doing it for legal issues to try to prove that you're a bad parent. So hang on a second. So I would talk to a lawyer about that. I don't know whether that would be considered manipulating the child or not. So yeah, talk to a lawyer. Okay. All right. Yeah, they have multiple fake accounts. They absolutely do. You just keep track of them and you just write them down, because eventually you're going to hire a PI and you're going to, you know, nail them to the wall. So, all right. Thank you, James. Okay. Yeah, it can be garlic to them, Ryan. Absolutely. Had a therapist that wanted to remove my sarcasm as he saw this as anger. I get it, that not all people get it or like it, but that's a part of me. I gave him 3 sessions and then walked out. Good for you. So sarcasm, humor is used. I mean, I use humor all the time. Why? Because therapy is distressing. Let's face it. It's like, it's not a good time generally, because you generally come in. This is a crazy thing about therapy when you think about it. It's like you're expected to come into a total stranger, sit down on the couch, and literally bare your soul. Like literally, just like, here's my heart, here it is, go for it. And trust and pray to God you got a good therapist that's not going to pour gasoline on it and light it on fire. So humor is used for several things. It's used to diffuse, it's used to soften, it's used to encourage, it's used to make it a friendly place. You know what I'm saying? Sarcasm is often used to deflect or to push away people. It can be seen as passive aggressive, and it depends on how it's being used. You know, I mean, if it's used in a non-harmful way, that's fine. If it's used in a snarky, mean, I'm going to hurt this person by saying it, then that's a little different. But sarcasm in and of itself is not necessarily bad. I just want to make that clear. So it's often used to point out the absurdity of the human condition, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think where things get harmful is when it's used to harm somebody else. So yeah, in and of itself, not a bad thing. And so that's kind of weird that they wanted to get rid of your sarcasm completely. I would have actually been more exploring as to why you're using it. What's underneath that? What are you protecting? What's the soft underbelly? That's what I would have done, but that's just me. Okay. Wow, the therapist said that she thinks that I'm better than her when I started explaining what I'm reading and learning. She admitted she does not know what CPTSD is. Run. Do not walk. Run to the nearest exit. Then claimed it was because everyone has their own acronyms. Bullshit. Yeah, honey, leave now. Don't grieve it. Go. This person is not good for you. Find somebody that knows about abuse. You need somebody who understands abuse. Absolutely. And who understands CPTSD and PTSD and BPD and NPD. And I'm going to keep using acronyms because guess what? All therapists use these. So yeah, get with a good therapist. All right. Okay, hang on. Yeah, if your therapist is making you feel lonely after a session with them, you're with the wrong therapist. So every time somebody leaves my office, they are always like, it's great, because it's like, they're like, yes, I can do this. And I'm like, yes, you can. So, you know, you want to make sure that when you leave your therapist's office, you're feeling empowered. That's our job, because you guys are not empowered when you're coming out of an abusive relationship. Half the time we don't even know who the fuck we are when we're leaving an abusive relationship. So the last thing you want to do is not know who you are. Get with a therapist who doesn't empower you. What the fuck? No, you want to get with somebody who empowers you, so that when you leave that therapy, when you leave that room, you're on top of the world. You're freaking, you know, Leo DiCaprio, I'm on top of the world, you know, it's king of the world, or whatever he did, I don't know, whatever. But the point being is, you want to leave that office feeling like you know what you're doing, that you are competent, that you are confident, that you do have your power back. Abso-fucking-lutely, because our abusers have stripped us of our confidence, our certainty, the bastards. They take away our certainty. And what I want to do is, when I have people leave my office, I want them to feel certain. I want them to feel empowered. So if you're feeling lonely after leaving a session with your therapist, Houston, there's a problem. Get the fuck out. Go find a therapist who gives you encouragement, who empowers you, to encourage you, to give you your courage back. That's what you need. So there that is. Okay. Sorry, got off on a tangent. Okay. Oh, good, Courtney, I'm glad I could help. Okay, so where was I? Attachment, we talked about that. Narcissist grandparent, what to do? Okay, so narcissistic grandparents are rampant. What they will do is they will try to sue for grandparent rights. So, and it's frustrating, because it's like, okay. So what they'll do, okay, if we're dealing with a real narcissistic grandparent, okay, then the grandparent's the problem, right? So then grandparent, parent, child, grandchild. What they'll do is they'll try to sue for grandparent rights. Now, in the state of Arizona, the only time that they can do that is if the parent of the grandchild is been divorced for 3 months or more, or something else, 3 months or more, divorced for 3 months or more, or they're not married for 3 months or more. And then the grandparent can walk in and demand grandparent rights. So does it happen very often? It can. Most judges are not willing to do that a lot of the times, because they understand that sometimes it is because the grandparent is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and the parents really truly want their child to have nothing to do with this abusive parent. So, but does it go through sometimes to the full court? Yeah, it can. But what I've seen happen in the cases that I've been dealing with is that the narcissistic grandparents, remember, they're older. It's harder for older narcissists to hold together that mask. And oftentimes in the stress of the courtroom situation, they lose their shit and their true colors come flying out, and it's totally obvious who the problem is. So you want to get with a good lawyer. I almost said a good therapist. Be a good therapist too, sure, why not? Get with a good lawyer. Get with a good family law lawyer that understands the ins and outs of grandparents' rights, that gets high conflict grandparents, okay, just like a high conflict divorce, and that is going to fight for you and make sure that the judge understands that this is an abusive parent who's trying to get access to my child. No way in hell. So yeah. And especially, and if you're married, you don't generally have to worry about it, because for some reason in the state of Arizona, if you're married, they don't generally let the grandparents go for grandparents' rights, which is stupid. But anyway, I don't know why being married should be such a big deal. But anyway, there it is. So get with a good attorney. Get with a really good family attorney that understands grandparents' rights. Now, on the flip side of that, you can have the grandparent who is sane, the parent who's crazy, and the grandkid who desperately needs a sane parent. So, you know, again, get with a good lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. Get with a good lawyer. Get with a good lawyer. Get with a good family law lawyer that has got a good record. You do not want to go with the ones that advertise crazily on, you know, TV and radio. You want to go word of mouth, okay? The best lawyers I've ever found, I have found in my BNI groups, Business Networking International. They've got great references, and I work with one locally here in Mesa, Brent Bryson. He's amazing. I love him. And so that you want to find somebody who knows their stuff and who understands narcissistic abuse, and he and I consult on cases all the time. So yeah, you want to find somebody who's got themselves hooked up with a good, you know, person who understands, you know, abuse and things like that, and high conflict and narcissism and borderline, et cetera, et cetera. Remember, I'm talking the extreme end of the spectrum. I'm not talking traits of, I'm talking the malignant ones. Okay, so that's that about grandparents' rights, narcissistic grandparent, what to do. So if they are just a narcissist, if they are a narcissistic grandparent and they are demanding access to your child and they've abused you, say no. What makes you think that they are going to treat your kid any differently than they treated you as a kid? So generally what happens is with personality disordered people, with abusers, they will be fine with the child until about age 5, 6, round in there, 4, 5, 6, round in there, when the kid starts getting their own very distinct personality. Because prior to that, kids are just sponges. And narcissists cannot stand it when a child really starts getting their own personality. It's very threatening to them. So if they abused you when you were little, guess what? They're going to abuse your little one too. So why the fuck would you want them around your kid? If you don't like them being around you, why would you want them around your child? If they're abusive, abuse is abuse. I don't care who they are. The question to ask yourself is, if you were not related to these people, would you have anything to do with them? If the answer is no, act accordingly. If these people abused you, would you want them around your child? No. Act accordingly. There you go. All right. Fear of success. Okay, so I talked about the fear of success in some video somewhere. Hold on. And somebody wanted me to talk more about that. So here's the thing. When we've been with an abuser for so long, we know how to fail. We do. We have no problem with failing. It's been pointed out to us 100,000 million times by our abuser. Hang on a second. You're welcome, Debbie. Okay. So we know how to fail. We don't know necessarily how to succeed. So when the idea of success comes along, oftentimes we sabotage ourselves. Why? Because if we had narcissistic parents and there was competition with the mom or competition with the dad, and you could never do better than them, how dare you? So again, inner child running the show, too terrified to compete with mom and dad. It's not okay to succeed. Oh my God, what if I'm successful? Oh my God, what if mom and dad find out? Oh my God. And then we start self-sabotaging because we don't want to have to deal with that fear of the, mom and dad finding out that we're competing with them. So yes, oftentimes you will find that survivors of abuse have got a fear of success because their abusive mom and dad were always in competition, always in competition, always in competition with the kids. So yeah, that is something to take a look at. So that's, again, an inner child workbook type of thing. I hope that answered the question. So personality disordered people are very much in competition. They've got to win. It's always a win for them. Always, 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 always. It is always a how to win, 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 how to win. They don't care who they hurt. And this means in even the weirdest things, like they will be very competitive in board games. Even they will need to beat their 8-year-old son or daughter at a board game because they're that competitive. I mean, it's just crazy. I've seen it over and over again. So yeah, that's the competition thing. And you're not in a competition with anybody except for yourself. But then that instills in the child it's not okay to win. Hello? Not okay to win. Oh my God, not okay to compete with mom, not okay to compete with dad. I can't beat mom or dad. Wow, okay. And that's where the setup is for not succeeding later on in other things because of the fear of success. So there that is. Okay, procrastination, what is it and how to overcome? So procrastination is a maladaptive way of feeling like you have control. That's the best way I can put it. So, hang on. Hold on just a second. This is a good one. So I parented my older sister starting at age 6. I had no childhood. I'm now 38. I've been an adult my whole life. I'm tired of being an adult. Is there something I can do to feel better? Yes. So again, inner child work. So one of the things that I have my clients do when they don't know what they like anymore or that they were forced to grow up super fast, I encourage them to go do childlike fun things. Like, for example, build a blanket fort in your living room. Watch TV from the blanket fort. Get a coloring book. Color in the coloring book. Do finger painting. Oh my God, I love finger painting. Messy as hell, love it. Flying a kite, that's one of my favorite things to do on the beach. Oh my God, go to the beach, buy a kite, fly a kite. You know, do things, go rollerblading. Do things that you did not get to do as a kid. It is never too late to have a happy childhood. It really is not. You may be having your happy childhood in your 30s. That's okay. You know, I'm in my 50s. I'm having a happy childhood. So, you know, it's like, go have a happy childhood. Go do the things that you wished you could have done when you were a kid that you did not get a chance to. Now is the time. It is never too late. Never, ever, 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 ever. And it's great when, like, my nieces and nephews, they're little, they're the great nieces, great nephews. They're little ones, like little ones. And they love it when I sit down on the ground with them and I play with them. And it's like, well, I get to be a kid. You know, I get to be doing the things that I didn't necessarily always get the chance to do. So I love coloring. I love getting out the crayons and coloring and flying kites and doing all of this stuff. So it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Go do the things that you did not get a chance to do. Go horseback riding. Go, I don't know, go do fun things. Go dye your hair. Go. Why do you think I dyed my hair blonde and then put purple in it? I never got a chance to do that when I was living at home. So yeah. So yeah, go do fun things. Can a narcissist really love? Nope. 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 With a side of nope and an extra helping of nope. There is no love there, guys. There's mirroring. There is love bombing. There is manipulation. But there is no love. Love is respect. Respect is love. If they're abusing you, they do not love or respect you. There you go. Okay. Yeah, play with the grandkids. I love it. Or play with your own kids. Yeah, absolutely, Brian. Yeah, it's a symptom of abuse if you're making sure that your mom is winning at a board game. The normal thing of it is that the game goes the way the game goes. And it's a great way, board games are a great way to teach kids that you're not always going to win, you're not always going to lose. You know, it's a life lesson, but abusers are always needing to win. Always, 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 always in competition. Always, always, always. I knew my ex-parents, even their granddaughter, older sister, husband seemed fine with the ex. I didn't really know that much about narcissism at that point. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't. It's not, because, like, God, guys, you know, it's like, we don't pop out of the womb knowing all of this stuff. And I've had to learn all of this stuff outside of getting my master's degree. It's like I've had to educate myself on domestic violence, on personality disorders, on survivor, on, you know, CPTSD, on all of this stuff, because it wasn't taught. It wasn't talked about. It just wasn't, and it needs to be. All right. Yeah, there's no reciprocity. There's no love with anybody that's a personality disorder. There's no, you know, malignant, again, malignant. When you're talking narcissistic personality disorder or you're talking malignant borderline, no, there is no love. There's no reciprocity. Okay, so procrastination. Okay, so procrastination is a maladaptive way of feeling like you have control. So when you're constantly late, you're in control. You're making other people wait on you, which is a power and control issue. So it's not healthy, and it is something that abusers love to do. I've noticed that with narcissists, especially the somatic ones, the ones that are very into their appearances, you'll set a dinner reservation, and this happened with my uncle and aunts frequently. We'd set a dinner reservation, and I would say, okay, you guys need to be there at 6, and they would show up at 7. And then be surprised when everybody was done eating. So it's a power and control issue. It's making other people wait on you. It's that kind of thing. The other thing that it is that it's a maladaptive way to feel like you have power and control. So you don't want to do that. So procrastination is a way to also beat yourself up. You know, it's like you wait till the last minute and get that pressure, got to do that paper, got to do that paper, got to do that paper. Oh my God, I got to do this paper right now. Oh my God, I'm up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon or the morning or whatever. Oh my God, blah. You know, it's a crazy way to live. It's maladaptive. It's not healthy. Procrastination is a way to make ourselves feel like shit as well, because we often don't get things done, and then we beat ourselves up. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, which is mental masturbation, remember? And you don't want to do that. So work on the procrastination. What is the fear? What are you afraid of? What are you trying to avoid? What is it? Are you trying to avoid being successful? Because this can be part of sabotage with success. So take a look at that. Take a look at why you're doing that. Okay. Okay. Myers-Briggs. Okay, guys. Here's the deal. Myers-Briggs was debunked years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago, okay? It was created by 2 housewives out of frickin' Iowa or Ohio or something. No offense to Iowa or Hawaii or Hawaii for that matter. So it's a bunch of hooey, guys. It's a bunch of hooeys. And you can be ENTMJ or whatever one day and then INTJ the next day, depending on your mood. So the Myers-Briggs has been completely debunked, and I printed up a bunch of stuff from Psychology Today. This one is Psychology Today. This is by Adam Grant, PhD. Goodbye to the MBTI, the fad that will not die. If you want to know why I think it's a load of crap, go read this. Okay? Myers-Briggs it's parlor tricks. It's not a respected or used indication of somebody's personality, and good therapists don't use it. Okay? So it's been debunked like years ago. There's another one from Vox. Hang on a second. This one was in Psychology Today by Adam Grant. Goodbye to MBTI and the fad that won't die. This one is from Vox. Why the Myers-Briggs test is totally meaningless. Hang on just a second. Let me get this. This is entire. Oh my God. That's a long article. Jesus Christ. Anyway, this was on Vox. Why the Myers-Briggs test is totally meaningless. So it's so funny to me because people are always asking me, well, what's your personality type? You're an extrovert. You're this. You're that. Look, I like talking to people. And then there are days when I don't. So you know, it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. It's not a measure that is used by therapists, and it shouldn't be used. And if they're using it, then Houston, you need a new therapist. So there that is. Okay, difference between CPTSD and PTSD. Okay, this is important. So here's the deal. Oh, hang on. More questions. Hang on. Oh, hello, Nevada. Okay, I would avoid trying to be successful because I feel I will lose my friends and family if I do. I also cry when other people are nice to me. Susan, self-esteem. Oh, Scotty's gonna bark. Scotty, what you doing, buddy? So, Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. It's okay to be successful. Give yourself that message. It's okay for me to be successful. It's okay. I give myself permission. When you do the mirror work, do that. And yeah, it's okay for people to be nice to me too. So do that when you do the mirror work as well. Yeah, the narcissist will show up late all the time, but God forbid you do. Double standard, etc. Okay. Yeah, so the cognitive dissonance. Okay, hold on, sorry. I want to answer these questions because I'm going to have to stop here pretty soon because I do believe my husband is coming home. So I think he is home. So where was I? The cognitive dissonance. So it is almost like they've got two faces, you know? So it's like they'll be nice, here's the nice face, and then they've got the abusive face. And it's like they switch back and forth between the two of them. And yes, we've fallen in love with the mask. We've fallen in love with the mirroring. We fell in love with the love bombing, but that wasn't who the real person was. So unfortunately, the real person is the one that's abusing and controlling and manipulating and isolating and doing all of that. That's the real person. Okay. Okay, Beth, you need to tell your organization that it's been debunked years ago and they should stop using it, truly. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. I also want to point out that it could be opposite too. My ex used to gaslight me that I took too long to get dressed, and really it was a way for control and belittling. Yeah, they do that. They absolutely, up is down, black is white, you know. Ooh, the last episode of The President Show had the most eerily accurate metaphor of mirroring I've ever seen. A black cloaked figure with a mirror for a face. The scene is called The President Must Confess His Sins. If anyone wants to go watch it on YouTube, quite literal, but mental picture, real life narcopaths like this really put everything into perspective. Wow, thank you, Zephora, that's cool. Okay, thanks, James. Yeah, paperwork sucks. You know, the thing about it is that it's really important to get into a good habit of not procrastinating. So oftentimes I'll hear therapists, especially new therapists, complain about the paperwork because we have to take notes on every person we see. And so I usually leave myself 15 minutes so that I can jot my notes down and be done. New therapists, though, dread the paperwork and they hate it, so they put it off. And so then by the end of the week, they've got this stack of like paperwork they have to do. And half the time, they don't remember what happened because they didn't do their notes immediately after the session. So like with taxes, like with having to take notes, like with anything else, you want to keep up on it. You want to keep up on it. Why? Because you're worth it. Because your peace of mind is worth it. Because your profession is worth it. Because your well-being is worth it. And I think that's the way to phrase it. So instead of, oh, I have to do this. Hey, I get to do this. I get to have all this stuff done. I get to get my taxes in. I get to be on time. I get to. It's an NLP thing. You definitely want to start doing that. Lauren Archibek is fantastic for that. Okay, Tom, thank you. Okay, so difference between CPTSD. Okay, this is important. This is important. The difference between CPTSD and PTSD. So somebody here, and I don't remember who it was, and I really want to give them credit, described it perfectly. So PTSD is a one-time event. It's like a single shot revolver, like a revolver. It's just one bullet out of the thing per, squeeze or something. But CPTSD is like an automatic weapon. Over and 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 over. That is the difference, and I cannot get that through people's heads. So PTSD is a one-time event, like a war, an accident, being in a grocery store when it gets robbed, witnessing a murder, a one-time event, okay? Complex post-traumatic stress disorder is when something traumatic happens every single fucking day or night, or constantly, or weekly, or monthly, or whatever. So the abuser will abuse, be nice for a while, and then abuse, be nice for a while, abuse. That's complex because it's happening. And it doesn't have to be the same type of abuse over and over again. I also heard somebody say that their therapist said that, and I'm sitting there going, for the love of Jesus Christ, the old is holy, please fucking learn about this shit. So it does not have to be the same abuse. It is abuse. It is trauma. Doesn't matter. It can be different trauma. It can be one day they're depriving you of sleep. The next day they're depriving you of food, or they're shoving food at you when they know that you're diabetic, or they're demanding that you drink when they know you're diabetic, or they are smearing you to your family and friends, or they are going to your HR, or fill in the blank. It is abuse. It is trauma over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? So that's the difference. PTSD is a one-time event. Okay? Complex post-traumatic stress disorder happens over a period of time, and it's trauma. Yes, CPTSD can even result, or PTSD can result from repeated awful surgeries. Yeah, you bet. So it's over time. It's stuff happening every day or every other week or, you know, whatever. It's repeated, it's repeated, it's repeated. It does not have to be the same thing. It doesn't have to always be sleep deprivation. It can be sleep deprivation one day, and it can be screaming at you and telling you you're a piece of shit the next. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's trauma. It's the trauma. It's the trauma. It's the repeated trauma. That is the difference. So I hope that clarifies everything. Okay. CBT has long-term effects, not just short-term. So somebody was telling me that, oh, CBT is not effective, blah, blah, blah. Tell that to the thousands of clients I've had. So CBT is long-term effective if, caveat, the person is continuing to do the healthy behavior. If they stop doing the healthy behavior and they revert back to older behavior, then yeah, no, it's not going to be effective. Nothing's going to be effective. You've got to continue on the healthy behavior. So the mirror work, the positive affirmations, the change in lifestyle, the working on your internal dialogue, that has all got to be ongoing. It's not just a one and done, guys. You are a work in progress. You are a work of art in progress, and it is going to be constantly changing and growing. And you need to keep constantly changing and growing, and you need to constantly check in to make sure that you are keeping yourself healthy, happy, and whole. So that is the best way to make sure that therapy is effective, is that you're doing the suggestions. When people stop doing the suggestions, yeah, it stops working. Simple as that. All right, there that is. Why do some abusers freak out when they see you, like trying to hide, acting weird, and why are others in your face? It depends on the type of abuser. So some abusers, when they see their target of abuse, will get in their face, you know, like intentionally walk up to them and be like, hi. Okay, they're looking for a reaction. They're looking for you to be fearful. They're looking for you to be scared. They're looking for you to be intimidated. They're looking for you to run. They're, you know, it's a power and control game, you know, either that or you walk into a place and suddenly they get really loud hoping that you're going to pay attention to them. That's another thing that abusers do. A normal healthy person doesn't need to do that, you know. The other thing that abusers will do is if they are probably borderline, probably not so much narcissists, but if they are borderline, they are the ones who have that sense of shame, especially if their behavior has been called out, especially if they got in trouble for it, like if it was a boss situation or a workplace situation, and then you come back into the room or you come back wherever, they're not going to be able to look at you. They're going to want to hide. They're going to want to, you know, whatever, because there is that. At least some borderlines have that sense of shame when they've been doing the abusive bullshit. So, you know, it depends. It depends on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a narcissist, they're going to get in your face because they want to intimidate you. They want to get a reaction out of you. They want to poke the bear and see if they can get you to leave, or if they can get you to look away, or if they can get you to be uncomfortable, or whatever. You know what I do when somebody does that? I go, hi, right back to them. Because it's like, if I had more fingers, I would be flipping you off with those too. So, but again, they're looking for that. They're looking for that narcissistic supply, and you just don't give it to them. You just don't give it to them, or you give it back to them like, "Hi, like I see your game, fucker." You know, you don't play. Don't play. We do not negotiate with terrorists. Tell you what, Richie Grannon, greatest thing he ever said to me. We do not negotiate with terrorists. And I was like, goddamn straight, motherfucker. Tell you what, I love Richie Grannon. So yeah, we do not negotiate with terrorists. We don't, period. So that's why they do that. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So that is it, guys. I am out of time. My husband is home. I would like to stop talking because I've been talking for almost 2 hours now. Jesus Christ. So, all right. So, all right. So thank you guys for all the questions. I am probably not going to do a show this Sunday. I'm beat, and it's been a hell of a week. So, yeah, because, you know, I had to put my dog down last week, and it's just been so all right, so probably not a show this week. There will be a show the following week. I know that I'm doing the even though I'm doing the lecture in Smyrna, I'm thinking there's a time difference, so I should be able to do at least an hour show before I go to do the lecture in Smyrna. So that's my evil plan. I'll let you know if that's different. So, so remember, if you're in the Atlanta area, if you know of somebody in the Atlanta area that would benefit from coming to see me, please send them the Eventbrite information where they can get tickets or find out where the book signings are going to be. So one book signing is going to be at Postman Books on Howell Mill Avenue. The other one is going to be at Tall Tales. I don't remember where that one is. And then the Smyrna Community Center is where I'm going to be doing the VIP meet and greet beforehand, and then be doing the lecture there. So go to Eventbrite, share us with as many people as you possibly can. Let's educate the living crap out of the world. Let's get rid of the narcissists, shine a light on them like a little cockroach. So yeah, there we go. All right, guys, love you. Have a great day. Keep the questions coming. You can always contact me on Facebook on We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez. You can always instant message me there. Please do keep it short though, guys. I do not have time to read novels. You can always leave comments on YouTube. You can also private message me on YouTube. I also have my Chris Godinez LPC, which is where I do a little bit more of the personal stuff. So I try to post like funny stuff and, you know, my sense of humor. I might start posting Victorians. I don't know. Could bore you guys to death. I don't know. Anyway, there it is. All right. So have a great night, and I will talk to you guys later. No show on Sunday, but I will probably do some sort of intermediate thing the following week. So yeah, I'm going to stop now. Okay, bye.